Hello blended folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm Pxy-CLASS and we are on the third session of this lecture regarding Eyelids rig, dynamics, dynamic and expressive eyelids that allows us to have for the eye or eyeball, eye surface in this case, whether it's spherical or not, there's a curved surface, right, where the eyelids, these eye contours, right, of the eyelids, they respect the surface, and this is happening, right, so we have all three-dimensional snapping or of the mesh onto the eyelids of the eyelids mesh onto the eye surface mesh or eyeball mesh. So we have on one, let's see this as a plane, right? So you have an X and Y, right? Oh, I can't write here. Oh, never mind, annotations, it's invisible, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so you have a left, X and Y, so two-dimensional curve. You see, I control these bendy bone splines, so I can control like a 2D eyes expression there. And there is also the y-axis, this dimension here, where I have this depth, and as you can see, there is the whole mesh is respecting. There are some occasional interpenetrations, but this can be fixed with some additional developments, but the automation is mostly perfect. And what I'm using here, as you have been following, it's just that these bendy bone splines, they were built exactly on top of rest position of the mesh, which is a half closed, somewhat arbitrary half closed eyelids, top and bottom eyelids shapes. These are not connected, by the way. It's a top sequence of bendy bone splines and a bottom sequence of bendy bone splines. I found that this works better. If we just have one spline and not two as I have here, this also works, but we lose some fundamental capabilities of shaping this curve. We can have more than two splines, like three, but I think this is exaggerated. It's in principle 2 is good enough. 1 is too little, one spline. If this was just, if we didn't have this was connect. So if there's just one spline is not good enough, but 2 is good. For the orbicularis oculi, I found out eventually that the solution, if we want to shape the actually eye hole shape, you see this doesn't shape the eye hole exactly. This we could, but we could have some more influence there, but in principle we can do this with another set of bones, bendy bone splines, that will deform this area here and this area here. And this area doesn't need, just as here, they don't need, it doesn't need to be a whole circle. This depends on the character design, right? Looping bendy bone spline sequence. I found that this area is rigid, usually as this one near the ears, near the cheekbone, yeah, near the cheekbone, depending on the, yeah, so I don't have the thing here available, but that will be like, let's enable that, so it will be like yeah, of course this is, yeah, so you have a cheekbone. Of course this is very bad, but you got it right. So this area here is more stable, just as here in the center. So this area, not including the nose, which can be more flexible to deforms, but this area is more stable, and this area also can be more stable in many character designs. So also the top of the skull, right, is more stable. So it's like many areas here don't really maybe here we allow to some flexibility. So these are maybe part of the head deformed bone, while everything else is can be areas that deform well with some, yeah, actually all the contour here is important. Yeah, this area here to have some slight subtle movements, and then the nose, and then yeah, this will be, I guess, yeah. So all this area here, that will be more rigid, and here all the rest, well, the eye would be here. So the inside, the eye is eyelids region, it's something else, but yes. All right. Well, you'll get the idea. So what we're going to do now is that let's reset this. We want to create not eyelashes, not this thing here. Let me think, what is, yeah, some automation here, and I need to compare with my original character. Let's check this here. So I have another Blender version here, and alright, so I want to check the amount of offset, so 0.0.3. So this is shrink wrap modifier, object modifier to the eyelids vertex group, which is a whole vertex group for top and bottom eyelids. I found that they can be the same thing, right? So if we get here, I can expand there. So this is the eyelids vertex group. It's not a deformed vertex group, it's just a modifier vertex group here. And so the object modifier, this is the eyelids border vertex group, where, hold on, here. So this is for that part, it's a trick. And I showed previously, and here would be the orbicularis oculi region, but actually this is just analytic, because actually very simplified, because actually if we want things to deform here, we want deforms to be all around here on this vertex, especially not so much here and here, because these are more stable regions, as I've mentioned, but especially below the eye and on top of the eye hole. So then all these can be, yeah, and then we don't want the skull, right, on top of the forehead to be deforming. That will be weird, right? Of course, depends on the character design. So for example here, if I were to check that we need the, hold on, I need the bones to show here. where is too much stuff we need to, okay, so here, okay, it's confusing, but I'll be able to show what I mean. So let's check here the deformed bones. So you see, oh, these are circular, but this is actually not really required. Well, I'm not able, oh, the mask, okay. So if I have, wait, why this, I'm having some problem with the selections here. Okay, the mesh, I think the hair meshing, it's not helping. Oh, it's because this is, I'm painting. This is a Blender. It's Alt, not Control. Sorry, folks. I'm destroying my. This is Blender 4.0.2, and it's not an LTS version. So let's go it again. It's the face eyes here, control on the forms. So wave paint mode. So it was not the hair, it was just that I was picking. So basically, you see here strong waves there, and if I check what's going on here, I've made a limitation there on the scalp, right, or the top of the head. Yeah, these bones here, they don't reach. This is a bit weird, right? It's not so simple, but we get used to it. And here the bottom is more free, actually, these ones, because this area is very fleshy. So it's not that this area the scalp is not fleshy too, but it's more rigid, right? For expressions in my, well, it always, I think it will depend on the character design. So yes, I've selected here, so you have some, and so these bones on the orbicularis, actually not this one, this one would allow this kind of maybe it's not, yeah. So of course we have a control bone here that will control both eyelids, mesh, and the forms of the orbicularis oculis through an automation. But we can move them individually. So this is why the eyelids mesh, they require to be independent, like not independent, but they have their own scope of the forms, which is the eyelids, while the orbicularis oculis region, yes, they can share some waves on the eyelids. You see, very low waves there on the eyelids for this bone here, and same for the bottom. Yeah, they share some very low waves on the eyelids, and this is important. However, the eyelids, they don't need necessarily to share too much waves on the orbicularis oculi region. And then also we can have that certain, do I still have this? Well, I think I don't have this anymore. Yes, we can have also that certain motion here. We can give this as a deform around the eye. Yes, that works. I don't have here, I don't know why I've maybe have deleted it. So additional trick, and okay. Anyways, what I was here for, besides showing that, is that I want to see the shrink wrap modifier. So 0.03, right? Left and right is the same. And so here, for some reason, this is the body mesh, right, where this object modifier is. I have a too much more than 0.03, right? Otherwise I would have the lot of interpenetrations here, and this is not good. Of course this is happening because the circumstance of this rig, and probably also because I haven't created a setup here that could help in that regard. Could be also wave painting. So, but what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create exactly in the center, we're gonna create tweak bones. So they'll be like that, yeah, pointing forward. So they'll be exactly aligned with world center to start with. Yeah, this one could actually be exactly on the here on the joints, right, of the bones joint. So except this one, this will be exactly on the center. So we'll start. Actually, this adding is no, this is okay. This is okay. We'll gonna change things later, and this is the last one, I believe. So these tweak bones, I'll give them a special color and special name. So we're gonna Control F2 that. Hold on, we are going to before that we are going to put screencast. We're going to change this color. We're gonna create on pose mode a tweak, would be that one, right? Tweak, yes. So we'll start to change that. So bones, and find replace, no, set name new tweak eyelid. Yeah, just like that. So also we are going to select by color here. We are going to change this, and there'll be, yeah, this is fine. But it can be, and actually we can rotate then on, yeah, positive 90 degrees. So now they are facing forward, okay, and maybe they could be a little like more, and that length is okay. And then we're gonna parent. What we're gonna parent is the following. This will be parented, which is the handle. This will be parented to the tweak bone, parent offset, this parent offset, okay, and this parent offset, and parent offset. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah, so this will be the controllers, the one that we manipulate directly, and any bone constraints would be on that we don't go here, they would go here. And so also let's change this naming. This will be the tweak top, so suffix top, and this suffix bot. Then we probably, oh, we have some problems here. So this could be 0, oh, left 0.0, yeah, okay. Okay, let's do this. This will become 002, and this will become 003. So here we get this, except we change top So all we did before was a bit incorrect. This the numbers are often difficult sometimes to fix. So what we can do now is make the automation, right? I've reduced this. This is delicate because it cannot be too much, because otherwise there will be some bulging eyelids, too flashy. But this is actually, this is not bad. But we need to also make sure that this thing here, yeah, because this can be cool, but it's not really usually required, right? So at least in certain character design. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create a shrink wrap bone constraint for these bones. They don't have any bone constraint now. Oh, actually, they also need to be parented to something more. Yeah, let's parent this to the head, and as you see, these were parented to the originally to the head bone. Now they are parented to the tweak bones, and the tweak bones are the ones that go to the head. So there we go, and they are not symmetrized, so the other side is broken, but we're gonna fix this soon. So now what I need, this is the deform bone, so let's also give it a deform color, right? Can also make this bigger. Okay, so but we're not gonna be watching it all the time, so sorry folks, let's yeah, the shrink wrap bone constraints. So just create one. This is not properly symmetrized, this property here, aligned to normal. We'll have to invert it manually on the other side, unfortunately. So this is a big a little problem, but we don't need this. This is optional option. So target the target the why doesn't recognize the eye? Okay, but here it is. Target the eye here. Okay, on surface, because we want it to be glued, right? So now wherever I move that, it stays glued, but interpenetrations occasionally still happen, and this might be happening because yes, in part is due to the maybe if we get better wave painting here, or we can improve augment even more the eyelid stuff, but the shrink wrap modifier on the eyelids vertex group, but that's already too much. If we had more bones for the orbicularis for the rest of the face region, maybe this would create some interaction here that might be positive to avoid this interpenetration. But this is probably wave paint issue here. Maybe there's oh, and there's also some interesting automations that we can do that can also help here. So for now, just this. We can also change this. We could have an outside, so we could like do that, but then we need a limit actually inside. So what to do, there's a limit. It can't go, no, it's outside, sorry. So it cannot go inside, which is but it can still go inside. So we can actually, for these bones, have outside surface, so it's like, and get just some slight yeah, and you see So this is like the control bone, the tweak bone that would help. Yeah, so when we pose this in this way, maybe we'll need to compensate here if we don't make adjustments elsewhere. But yeah, there are many ways to. We must be doing this on. We must be visualizing all the expressions that we need. And here we see that there's some bad shapes forming, and this is because wave paint, of course, and we don't have the orbicularis oculi bone structure deforms yet, so I'm not sure I'm gonna do this because this is eyelids, but I think this will be relevant too. Alright folks, so let's check the other file and see. Here I don't have tweak bones though, so this is shrink wrapped. Yes, it's outside. Oh, it's outside. Distance 0, nearest surface, and there's a line to Z. So I can't push this, but this was done because there is the eyelash, and that could be beneficial. In this case we don't have eyelash and it's 0, so it's sort of free to move. So this can be interesting, right? To be free to move here. So you can also manually correct, but currently I'm not liking this very much. So something weird about, because you see I'm not pushing the eyelids mesh. Only the eyelash, so it's something that I myself am not understanding now. Yes, it is slightly pushing, but it is staying on the eye. This is a shrink wrap bone constraint on a control bone and not on the. So this doesn't have the deformed bone here, which is a bendy bone, doesn't have shrink wrap bone constraint. Anyways, so strange thing. Why can I push if I order this mesh to remain shrink? Oh, there's the offset. There should be a limit. No, there's no limit. Intriguing. It's like this is being neutralized. This is the outside. This is a mistake. This was the mistake, folks. So this is inside because it's a special purpose, the eyelids border, but here I knew something was wrong. Outside surface. So this is what will cause the okay, so just a outside surface. It could be above surface too, it could be on surface, but outside reminds of outside, simple outside. So now, yes, now we won't have this effect, right? And we can still push this outside if we want, but this for eyelash requirements, right? So the idea here is that this won't go inside. At least we can't pose it inside the eye, although interpenetrations are still occurring. Oh, this one doesn't have shrink wrap bone constraint yet. This one has. So this goes outside, right? And the idea here aligned to Y, so it will have some rotation. It's kind of cool, right? But then we lose the global orientation, but this rotates with the head. This is optional, really. The only annoying thing with that is that as we symmetrize, it loses the cool thing is that you see the curve, right? And remember, for this is where, by using the shrink wrap bone constraint, is where we can verify that if we reduce the amount of subdivisions here on this mesh, see, there's not, well, it's very poor in terms of you'll see that we'll have horrid motion here. You see, it looks like it's snapping wrongly, but actually this is just lack of subdivision. So you need to be this, to let it be very smooth, the eye surface. And subdivision, this is, you see, sometimes it's jumpy. This is not good. So we can actually where's the real subdivisions of this thing? This is incorrect, folks. Clear seam, optimal display. Something is very buggy here about this mesh object. Anyways, we see that it's very smooth now, anyways, and now this is where it is. It doesn't matter how the technique used to make it smooth. You see, not too much jumpy here. This is what we want. This can be achieved mostly with subdivision surface modifier on the eyelid, eyeball, eye surface mesh object. So good. Now we are gonna going to sustain this. Can it be 0? Yeah, can be. The idea here is that maybe if we are experiencing some interpenetrations here, maybe if we did that, we could. Now this doesn't really help, so in this case, but then this might help. We'll see. We need to procure a copy of this bone constraint to all the others. So no, not this last one. This Control Alt C, and there we go. All them are. No, I cleared. Shift Alt C. No, Shift Alt. Yeah, Shift Alt C. Now all of them have the same thing. And if I'm having some trouble with some interpenetrations, then maybe if I could adjust here, let's see, let's spot something. Maybe this one could have. Now this doesn't really help too much, so let's leave it just like that. So it has a wall, so we cannot pose inside the eye surface, so this is good. But if we want to pose it above, we can, but it won't do any difference to the eyelids. You see, it's because of how the mesh there is, it's outside surface instead of outside. So now you'll see what will happen if we try to symmetrize this all this structure. As we go here, you see that something, well, the parenting didn't actually, yeah, so this was old. I have to reparent, or we could delete everything and symmetrize. Now we don't suffer. Wait, Oh, okay, we can't do that because then I delete. I think I made something wrong at some point. Let's do more Control Z here. Alright, so let's symmetrize again. Yes, the parent is... No, the parent is correct. Okay, now it's working. I don't know. But you see there are some weird orientations, right? What's happened is because that thing didn't symmetrize properly. This must be manually adjusted, no? Okay, folks, now something is incorrect and I'm not sure what is it. So this... Oh, because this is not an axis that... this axis actually doesn't need symmetrizing. It would be the case of X or Z axis because of the way bones work in Blender. So sorry, the Y and negative Y are the unique case of that usually won't need manual symmetrization. So I was wrong, but there is something nonetheless that is strange here. Oh, of course, the eye surface. The bone constraints are targeting the left eye. So apparently this can't be symmetrized object. So you're gonna change all at once. There we go. Let's make sure that, well, this was symmetrized. Looks like something is bizarre here. Something is causing this to be malfunctioning. Weird. Oh, okay, so this is an issue here, a bad thing about this thing. So it's rotating, right, the handle in a bad way. So no, actually this is not a good idea. Let's pick all this, and if I were to use another one, let's use the click here. Yeah, so if I were to use another, like X, yeah, the rotation still causing problems. Z, yeah, and terrible. Yeah, so usually, so yeah, we don't want this, definitively not in this case. And if I were on my original file here, you see I've used Z, but here I don't have tweak bones, which functionality is to get the rig more organized, to spread functionalities between bones. So this is a handle, right, but it's also a control bone. So the tweak bone here becomes the control bone, and we don't touch the handle, which has awkward orientation, right? And this has a more solid orientation, right? So the idea to get that right maybe would be like that. If I want really to use that, would be like yeah, but this is delicate because this is a rotation, right? So if I apply this, it's just a rotation here, right? So if I'll make a test here. Apply selected bone as rest pose. Okay, so now this is the problem is that it affects all the other bones I have to replace. So this is very annoying, but I could do that for the tweak bones. Then I have to derotate that, and Yeah, this is pretty annoying, but you get the idea, right? Then we can if I created the twig bones first, and then this won't distort the, you see, but I've done things into reverse for that fact, matter of fact, so no, this will be too annoying, but that will be a better rig, but it will be more complicated, right? More dependencies. If I had to redo everything, it will be more delicate, right? This is delicate. If you have to rig stuff with this thing, it's usually complicated, because this affect not only the bone. I found out this affect the bone and all of its child. Oh, but there's a way. We'll have to clear the parents. Okay. So and then we have to reparent. Yes. So let's clear the parents here, and let's get, I'm doing that, select from here, then we get this, and then we apply selected as rest pose. So now I get these as the rest positions, and for all these bones, and then I can get again, oh no, oh, this is one by one. Alright, so this is annoying, but we can do here, here, and I don't think symmetrization fixes parenting. We'll try, but I suspect they don't. And here, here. So all this side I think is fixed. Let's check. And so if I pick this, alright, it fixed parenting on, at least on this case, where one side is parented, the original side is parent and the other not. So you see, we are okay, but the symmetrization screwed up the targets here, as you already know. There we go. Alright, and now this is, you see, the rest position of this bone was took from a direct reference of the pose position. So the alignment with Y was exactly alignment with the eye normal. That position was perfect according to the bone constraint, and that was redirected to the rest position of the armature, and then we reparent. So otherwise this operator would affect the child bones. These, yeah, these, maybe this one too, but and then this fucks up, sorry, this screws up the stuff. Okay, the automation here is okay. But we lack this perfect synergy, and so there is annoying interpenetrations that can be. So what I could do now is, instead of, oops, I shouldn't be taking those bones, but I'm not gonna, maybe I should hide them. We should need a control layer, maybe, yeah. Anyways, or maybe make this bigger so we can avoid. Yeah, maybe we can also grow them Okay, so what I can do now is make an alternative version of this starting rig, where I'm going to use the technique of where I'm gonna try to avoid the use of the object modifiers here, the shrink wrap modifiers. And for this I'll have to create, because I have to mimic these segments with real bones, real deform. No, I mean, this bendy bone will become will convert bendy bone splines to regular linear blend skinning, and then we can shrink wrap to deform fake segment bones, which are normal deformed bones. We will shrink wrap themselves from the root to from the head to the tail of the handles, right? So the bendy bone spline will become a mechanism system, and then we can shrink wrap these instances here. And then otherwise, if I shrink wrap, this is a single bone. The shrink wrap bone constraint only affects, I've tested it so I can guarantee, I'm not gonna show it, but it shrink wraps the bone from its head, so it's completely useless here, because the bendy bone, which is segments, with its segments, corresponds to all wave painting here on this all length and region. So because spline skinning is different from linear blend skinning or dual quaternion skinning, so we need, for the only way to have shrink wrap bone constraint instead of shrink wrap modifier work ideally without shrink wrap modifier, right, is that we convert bendy bone spline to make that conversion system. We'll remain having a bendy bone spline, but it will be a mechanism system. And the idea that I had before, which I've showed in the first video, this was incorrect, not progressed, I mean, because with the conversion of the bendy bone splines we can make a cleaner job. So I had an example there which was feasible but not as good as it can be. So let's build that thing. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'll start creating that scene, right? So we'll pick this. Actually, yeah, I'm a bit worried because if I split projects now, I'll have some issues. So I have a better idea for the time being. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to disable these deformed bones. Yeah, let's select all the visible deformed bones, so these ones except the head bone. We're going to wait, we need to select at least one bone, right? An active bone. So I'm gonna disable these deforms, right? And the reason why is that by checking that off, I can create an alternative rig on this rig. So this is what we're gonna do, folks. So here, yeah, this appears below, not above the chat. Hello, welcome Vladimir Alotsky. How are you doing? Long time. So this is what was happening. I want to take this off. This takes too much. We are back here and making progress. Hope you're doing fine in this new year. So I'm drinking mate here, yerba mate, chimarrão in Portuguese, or simply mate. And here is the infusion that blender folk that Pablo Velasquez, I think, yeah, Pablo drinks sometimes in Blender Today videos. Yeah, the same thing. There's gaucho stuff. It's not, I didn't copy it from him. It's tradition of our region. Argentina, Uruguay, South Brazil. But it's quite popular. Can find it's in many parts of the world if you go on some special places. I know in France they have. There are many Brazilians in France. United States there should be there, yeah, certainly. And I don't know about other countries. I have a friend in Japan right now. I'll ask him if he can find mate, yerba mate in Japan. I believe there should be, but might be hard to find. I don't know. And some special imports market, I think. Okay, so I've never, yes, I made some attempts with that. That, by the way, if you don't know, this is the rig of Convert Bendy Bones. This is the fantastic tutorial from CG Dive. He took the idea from some guy or girl on someone in Blender community, and then he made the tutorial to make it more popular, and this is very, very good. I found different ways to make this, of course, as we know in rigging in Blender or in Blender in general. There are many ways to do the same thing, the same functionalities, so the same feature, right? And the same occurs to conversion of these bendy bones. So we'll start. We have already our mechanism here, and this will be the difference, folks, because in his example he works with a bendy bone spline that is straight, and ours is already starts on a curvy position. So this is a bit more tricky to develop, but we are going to do it. So I just want to visualize my spline here. This will be a bit challenging, but I think I got the idea how to do it. Yes, so we need to go to the, yeah, we'll start from here, and we're gonna create a bone. We can already give it a name, so this will be like bendy bone segment. It's no, but that is, yeah, it's fake segment. So this is fake segment, whatever, FKS, fake segment. Then eyelid top. There is, yeah, this is an eyelid 1, whatever, and that will be the eyelid 2. Yeah, just to give a differentiation. So that should be the first segment. I need to target this, and we need to align this probably towards that. Okay, and this, let's make this a little, okay, and then we should start to make a subdivision of 5 of this bone. So we'll subdivide armature, subdivide. There's no shortcut for that. Okay, then I think it's 5. It will create 6 segments. 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's it. But how do we match this? This is the problem, because we cannot match this on edit mode. But haha, here comes some maths, but very simple stuff to do in Blender. So what we need to do here is gonna, from pose mode, we are going to you see this create an illusion that this is, I have this illusion that these bones are curving like this, but this is an illusion, visual illusion caused by this, the combination of, in the composition of these curves, or at least this one with this one. A very bizarre thing. Interesting, right? Visual illusion. Okay, so I don't know if you guys see it. Okay, let's do the trick. So this is something that we won't see in that tutorial, and this is a situation where we need an alternative, and I've thought about it, and I think that should work. So we are going to create copy locations, actually copy transforms. It will be safer. So we pick this, and we're gonna create copy transforms, because then it will also copy the rotations, and we'll use follow b-bone. And so what it does is that it will follow the b-bone from the head. Okay, replace word space, yes, all this, influence 100, that's it. Copy transforms, yes, the bendy bone is simple, is this name of this segment, fake segment, which is not simple. So we see that they are parented, connected. I think this is incorrect, but for now let's keep it like that. We're going to pick all this, and we're going to copy. This is dangerous, I know, but oh, these things are all wrong. So let's redo that. Yeah, let's I don't know, let's destroy these names here. No, not like that. So this will be 001. We're going to just (002), 003, 004, 005. Oh, we could have done for all of them. I hope they would create the same sequence. Okay, so I lost a bit of time, probably. Then, yeah, this will be a bit annoying, but we'll copy all at once. There we go. Strangely, oh, the parent connected avoided them. So now what I'm gonna do is that, you see, this goes from 1 to 0, from 0 to 1. We need to create a mathematical expression that will be the exact position along the curved bendy bone. And so it's 1 divided by 6, because there are 6 ones, 2 divided by 6, 3 divided by 6, 4 divided by 6, and you see this value, it's Blender automates mathematically, even if it's an infinite value. It's actually not, it's reading 0.667, but actually the real value input is here towards infinite. but digital is not infinite. It's just looking for it until it is okay. And then guess what, the last one, 5 divided by 6. If there were 5 segments, it will be divided by 5, right? And technically this one is 0 divided by 6. We don't have a 6 divided by 6 because we don't want the bone to be here. So 5 divided by 6 is the last one, so it will never reach the 6 by 6, 5 by 5, 4 by 4, because it ends like here, unless we had a bone here that we have to match, but the segment in this direction ends here. So they don't have stretch to bone constraints, and they work differently. So they'll use damped tract. However, oh, hold on. I made this for a special purpose. Maybe this is a mistake. There is the, okay, let's try something else, because the idea of these bone constraints will be they will be neutralized later. They are just for the starting, but according to the tutorial, what we use instead, of course, I'm not building a curved rest position bendy bone spline, fake segments. The tutorial there is straight, but maybe that technique will work here. So it's the armature bone constraint that we need to create for our stuff here. It's very precise. It's easier than the copy transforms, copy location, copy rotation. I found it's more, so we need to target, the control, that was useless, the shift C, control shift C. It's, we need to add the target, we'll add this target, right? Bone, armature, it's only armature we've got, there we go. So, this will, we don't care about that. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna, let's disrupt the parenting, right folks, for now, because I want to be sure of what's happening. So you see, it's sort of following the armature. So what we're gonna do is copy again. Now this is not a chain. We're going to copy with our add-on, which CGDI also showing that tutorial, by the ways. It's the copy, very useful for copy attributes menu. It's inbuilt. So Control C, copy selected constraints. Copy just the armature. It won't override, it won't delete the others, it just copy the armature. So it adds the armature to the others. So what it is doing now, yes. So you see, this sort of solves even the curved thing, but not so fast. The rest position is wrong. We need the dumped track. So I disabled that because, okay, now preserve volume using, now this is something else. There's nothing else here to, okay, there's the dumped track, so we'll start with this one, dumped track. I think the dumped track go after, yes, so look for the tail, right? No, look for the head of the target. This should be done manually. So dump track, it's the Y, yeah, it's like that. Okay, so this is apparently working, but it's not enough because the rest position is like that. So what we need to do, and this is why we need to set, this is why I need to, I believe, use this technique. I don't know, here this is not doing enough, so we're disabling all that we've made, right? It's all disabled. We are going to enable the copy transforms. Aha! And now what we're going to do, except there's the dumped tracks, yeah, let's enable the dumped track. Aha! And now we can apply, yes, you know what is this, apply selected as rest pose. Aha! So any change that we do here on the bones now, it's critical because we'll lose this perfect positioning. And the bone constraints are still going on. But now there is no more offset. So if we want, we can keep, okay, so these are meant to be deformed bones in DR, so this is good, while the original bendy bone is no more, although it have still the old wave plane, the original wave plane for this part of the eyelids mesh. It's disabled, so it's deformed property, so it's not going to deform. So what we're gonna do here, I could use, maybe there's a way to do this as with armature, but I think armature, yes, if I could delete this, not delete, I mean, let's say if I disable that, I ruin my rig, right? However, if I enable that, probably it will, yeah, so you see, this is, but I don't know right now, folks, if there is a way to have to build this as we did with the armature bone constraint. So in this case, we need the copy transforms for building. After we can substitute, but I prefer to have the original thing because if we need to remake this, we already have the setup. So maybe there's a way to do this with the other way, with the armature, but I don't know. I don't know if that I'll have to make more investigations, but the reason this works is that is thanks to the follow B bone property. So I've made a few tests, but I couldn't find a way to do that with the armature bone constraint so far, but here is a way that it will work. Otherwise, if the thing is straight, if the bendy bone spline is straight, as in the CG Dive tutorial, then armature bone constraint is much simpler. You don't have to make the calculations there, the inputs. It does all automatically, automagically. So then in those cases, armature bone constraint is straightforward, and here we need this setup. So we were successful on that, but here comes something that, yeah, and it's time consuming, right? But if we want that kind of rig, that is the way to go. If we, for some reason, we can't use the we don't want or we can't use the shrink wrap modifier, which I find is very powerful in Blender, very handy, then we need to make the setup. So now there is something that I have never attempted before. I don't know how the Eyelids rig will respond to this non-spline skinning fake segments. So what I'm going to do is that first let's change there to another depth, so there will be depth 2. So that means this is like yeah, a bit confusing, right? But yeah, whatever. We see they are well, we could do this with another color. Sometimes I use maybe, yeah, but the other get tinted anyways, it doesn't help. Let's get the wave painting done here. It shouldn't be different actually, right? What if I could convert? No, I think this is not possible. Yeah, I will have to do it manually. Or maybe automatic waves. Yeah, maybe I'm not very. We'll try. Assign from. Okay, bad. Yeah, I just took the. Okay, it's not too bad, but of course it's not enough. So should we keep that as a starting condition? Yeah, why not? So what I'm going to do is, though, I'm going to select my mask. I'll make the mask of the entire eyelids I have here, by the way, is this, so the whole eyelids mesh, not including the eyelids border, so, and not including anything surrounding, although we could, but so I will make sure that, okay, we don't have extrapolating waves apparently, so this is okay. So we're gonna de-invert and we're gonna wave paint these segments manually and see if we can, yeah, and let's blur a lot, yeah. Yeah, it's okay to have in this area here. Let's reduce the strength of this blurring so we can. What about this? Can we extrapolate too much? Now, blended waves here, maybe it's not a good idea, so let's. Wasn't there? Oh no, this was on Blender, on the new Blender version. I don't have the shortcut for add subtract yet in here, so let's swap here. So blur, yeah, more blur maybe. No, let's leave it at here. And let's augment actually the waves on that part here, right? Now I'm subtracting. The problem is that I don't have too much subdivisions here. I have too many bendy bone. Yeah, maybe I could have less. It will be less wave painting also, right, folks? But since we got this, we're continuing here. Yeah, we'll have this problem. We don't have enough subdivisions, so we'll have to. There'll be those lots of blended waves, but there's a gradation, so that's not too bad, right? So we start with the maximum. Yeah, this can be, and then we can I'm afraid if there would be, we'll make the next one, we'll try with I don't know, 3 segments, fake segments, maybe that will work, right? I could also augment the amount of subdivisions, but I don't think this is required here. Okay, so let's start to reach for the other directions there, and I think we are reaching the end. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yes, this is the last one. So here we can have tons of waves in that part, and blurring. Yeah, we can augment actually this blurring potential. Let's go back and also do a little more here. We'll have partial results. So I've never done this before, but from theory it seemed that it was fine. In practice I can already see it's complicated. Yeah, it's annoying to have all those things, to extra steps to do, so simplification would be nice. So probably we don't need all these segments, fake segments, matching the segmentation of the bendy bone. So let's try, we can make a comparison here. So first let's see. Okay, it really worked. Here is bad, probably there's no waves there, so but we can enable here. Yeah, so this is a hybrid rig right now if I enable this one. So you see that it just works just as it would be spline skinning with bendy bone splines. It's just working. So it's regular, it's safe. Maybe the original one was a little better. So it's I enable this, there will be shared waves. The interpenetrations there still occur. Let's turn this as non-deformed bones. You see that thing was already there, so it's nothing. It's not something new. It's mostly working as the original. Is it equivalent? Well, the wave paints are different, so we cannot check that. I think it will be impossible to check unless we'd had to compare spline skinning with linear blend skinning in this condition. The wave paint would have to match exactly the same for the fake. I don't know how to map that, so I cannot make a complete comparison, but maybe There might be some that the only thing about spline skinning is that it's just a set of bones like that, right? I don't know. I really don't know how it works in depth. I wish I knew, but so I suspect that's just it. So they work similarly. This setup works just very similarly as we could see, as we were able to see. So nothing. So far this is good. And what I need here to do next is something that I forgot. It is about the automation of these eyelids. So what we need here is that, you see, as I pose these, or even these, it's posed individually, but especially the center one. So there's a way to have these bones match some motion there, to have some, you see how bad is this curve, so we can sort of fix this or improve this if, well, let's just for a while re-enable this. We can make some improvements here, right, with some automation. So let me check what was that automation. So for the eyelids, there is the stretch tool. Do we have stretch tool? We have, okay, so that's fine. These are different, right? But so we have the bendy bone and the bendy bone handles, and that's only that. So there's copy transforms and a shrink wrap on the center. This copy transform is for a main bone here, so this is not what we want. So this one doesn't have extra bone constraint. The shrink wrap always go on the end usually. Okay, so these have shrink wrap to the eye surface, but these ones on the corner, they have an additional, they have a dumped tract on halfway in the direction of the, okay, it's y, positive y, so it's going from here to, its tail is here, right? So it's going from, it's trying to track the middle of that bone. It didn't need to be that, it could be actually, well, and there is a varied influence. So you see, you'll see it rotate slightly, and this also helps, this helps automation. Same for the other one, except that because the orientation is, it goes outwards, I think, so the damped tract is negative y. It's trying to match the center, exactly the center of this bone, and not its head nor its tail, the center. So this is y is 0.5, and it is, this is, makes no difference because this is not a bendy bone, nor is this, and it's 0.3 influence. This we can change according to our needs. This is arbitrary. It needs to go before the shrink wrap bone constraint. It's better if it also go after this. I'm not sure, but this way it works. I don't have a copy transforms. These also have copy transform, but it works slightly different. They have varied influence on the copy transform. This is the highest. The other ones have, yeah, so you see, this depends on the model. But in this case, we don't have copy transforms yet because this will regard the entire eyes rig, right? Orbicular visoculi region. We don't have these controllers. Well, I think I'll make them in more sessions, so you keep improving this file, right? So this is an interesting project. Then we are going to, what are we gonna do? We're going to sorry folks, just got a mind blank here. Too many things. Is the dump track. Okay, so we could target this bone actually for the dumped track. Why not? Because now we have it, so the head is exactly in the center, so that's okay. Dump track, Y, head, and not maybe 0.3, that's it. Then we are going to yeah, do this dump track, then negative Y and 0.3. So now we have this light automation. I could augment this, I don't know, 0.5, and this will be, I don't know, 0.4. There it is, there, okay. And same for the, maybe this one could benefit from more, 0.6. Now then it then it restrains too much, so that's 0.3 then. But then as it we have some I wish it were more, but then if it's too much, then what if I change the target here? Let's try it. Because it doesn't look like as it should for me. Dump track. Let's neutralize this one, disable that one, and no, it's still the same. So how? Well, the character design here is very different. So, oh, that we still have this problem. So it's not. I don't remember that actually. So looks like. What about this? Well, this works better. Moves everything. I don't remember this was having this kind of complication. So maybe there will be other automations that would help on that. But dump track helps, okay? So no, not this one. It tends to help a little. And yeah, it targets the tweak bone, it's fine. This one is easier. You see that the results are better on that one. Could even have maybe a little more. Yes, this one is a bit more tricky, but maybe we could add a double. Let's shift D that. I don't know if they stack. They don't seem to stack influence. Yeah, so maybe copy rotate. The other side is because of symmetrization we don't have yet, so just ignore. And okay, let's now do the same but for these other ones. Dump track could be that. Okay, we see that maybe a little more, that's fine. And for this one, this and this, dump track negative y for this one, and let's see, okay, this is satisfying. Okay, so we have the dumped tracks as automation. I don't think there's anything else here for the eyelids, except time has come. There is a thing here that I'm gonna disable these ones and see if the rig still works, because the mesh is wave painted. Oh, it's disabled. How come it is moving if the wave painted? Hold on, is this still a deformed bone? No. So how is this possible that... Okay, what I'm checking here is that we disabled these, so you see we can actually push this forward and this can create some bad results. This is not eyelashes, this is so this is why, but it's okay, it's safe, it's working. We see the no, you see there are some problems sometimes that happens there. So there are some positions we just can't push this anyhow. So there are some, yeah. So if we were to disable the shrink wrap modifier on here, you see that won't happen if we have this here. It stays in a safe distance. So we have to keep this from going too far away, or would have to create some other way to control this mesh to stay there, or make it deeper maybe, I don't know. There are many alternatives, but this is most efficient, right? However, now I'm also going to do that. Now we're going for the big test. You see, all is doing poorly now, but we are going to add shrink wrap bone constraints at the end of these fake segments. So how does that work? They will, each one of them will be like a legion of okay, so let's add a shrink wrap bone constraint, like a legion of deformed bones and linear blend skinny method. Target, oh, this time it appeared, the eye surface left on a distance outside surface, because I want this to be glued, and we'll give it some amount. And the problem is that this only works for the bone at this position, yeah, on its position, and well, it's offsetting brutally, but if it helps the mesh, oh no, we don't, this time we certainly don't want this, yeah. So this offsetting is bizarre. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, the outside, we'll let it be, we can go inside, but we can go outside and we'll have this bad result, right? So the object modifier, it had outside surface. So this is kind of breaking this thing. Maybe we're gonna find out. Should it go before? Would that be a special case? Yes, so this is new to me and never ever had a condition like that. Alright, and since we are seeing the interpenetration, alright, the bone don't go beyond. Yeah, so this is like nothing. So maybe this technique doesn't work, but I have some plan, folks. So maybe we'll have to push everything with the shrink wrap on the same value. So let's see. So far it is very bizarre, but we see that this avoids interpenetration. Okay, let's first reset everything and let's see if... Okay, so you see a lot of interpenetrations. Well, having all this displacement. Oh, because of this. No? This is... so the tweak bones are in place. What is changing is these bones. Oh, it's the damper track. This first. Yeah, this damper track. This automation is making it rotate already from from pose position, but that's okay. This is not what is generating the interpenetrations. Right? The interpenetrations are there, happens anyways. So what we need is the shrink wrap. Since we don't have the shrink wrap modifier on, from the perspective of the shrink wrap modifier, we had a strong value, but we're using the default one. It was a 0.18. So this means I don't think they are equivalent, but let's try out. Let's give this same shrink wrap bone constraint to all the others. So all these, then Control C, copy shrink wrap. Alright, so you see there's some bizarre thing going on because the head is displaced and not the tail. In this case, the dumped track maybe that won't help also, or maybe have an idea here. Hold on. That's very crazy, but stretch to after after the shrink wrap. because the stretch 2 operates on the tail. This is a very bizarre combination, but then could we neutralize the dumped track? Doesn't seem to do anything. Let's see if okay, maybe the dumped track is useless. And so let's copy. Okay, let's turn off the dumped tracks. Let's go the stretch 2, stretch 2, stretch 2. This is the first time I see something going after a shrink wrap bone constraint, but that relates to the tail, so it's a very, very special case. What's happening to these bones? Oh, this one maybe needs the dumped track. No? Maybe something is okay. Hold on. Why this is doing that? Stretch 2. Did we... Okay, the shrink wraps are all the same, apparently, so stretch to 0.5, stretch to 0.6, this is correct, stretch to 0.4, yes, this one, then stretch to, yeah, next, and stretch to next, and disable dumped track, which seems useless. So we see that the shrink wrap bone constraints are not I see. Okay, let's add a shrink wrap bone constraint also to these ones. Yeah, let's all give these already have, right? So let's bring this to here and here. So these ones don't need shrink wrap bone constraint because the tweak bones already have it, except that it's outside instead of outside surface. So let's try to change this just for a moment here. This is limiting, but at least okay, I got an idea. So yeah, let's actually have this with a shrink wrap bone constraint on the eye surface, but this will have this value. It will be outside surface. Is that it? Outside surface. Then we copy this. This has a dumped track, but we just want the Control-C, copy shrink wrap. Alright, and the shrink wrap goes before or after, and this can be outside, and here we start with the same value, but then we can move at least this one we can move, even if it doesn't do anything for the mesh, because the other bones are staying in place, but that's okay then. So we see that this has the dumped track there. What is going wrong here? Okay, so we fixed that. And we didn't fix that. Maybe we need to make a trick here. This is very special case because this is not convention. It's not a bendy bone, so this bone can certainly, it needs to be touching that. Let's just do some inversion here. Okay, dumped track before shrink wrap. This is crazy, but at least now it's still offsetting. So what makes the, although this is not really important, but yeah, it's ugly, I don't like it. What we see here is that the shrink wraps are not doing their job properly in avoiding interpenetrations yet. So let's change this out by selecting everything that has got shrink wrap, and let's augment. Aha, there we go. So I can confirm what is this is not good. Okay, this is fine, but there is some problem here. I never used tweak bones here, so this is not adequate. We need some other way to manipulate. Yeah, we need to be able to do this. So this dumped track is actually, by using tweak bones, the automation is failing us. Okay, so what happens that these are falling is because there's a stretch tube. A stretch tube probably will create some bad interaction with the dumped track. This is why it seems to be neutralized. But this dumped track is a different one, and perhaps we need, instead of a parenting relation here, at least for this, we need some sort of transform stuff, right? So there are many things incorrect there, and we see that the whole thing is offset. Okay, okay, now it's not offset. So the dumped track for automation is breaking the rig, and yeah, although if we reduce, it has less worse effect, and it doesn't seem, well, there is some change, but it doesn't solve the problem. So I had this notion that always shrink wrap bone constraint should be the last one, but for these mechanisms actually we have stretch too, it affects the tail, go after. So this is very, very special and intriguing. Shrink wrap affects the head of the bone, stretch to affect the tail of the bone. This is why stretch to can go to the end. Shrink wrap, shrink wrap, shrink wrap. Okay. Dump and tract affect the tail positioning, right? Yes, and therefore it could go after, but it's causing disruption. So let's see something here. Let's make a stretch. This is crazy. This wouldn't work with regular bendy bone splines, of course, because the bendy bone is parented here, but this is not the same situation. It's like this setup is continuing. So we have the shrink wrap, except that here we don't have a copy transforms, right? Because this is the same bone that is for the bendy bone and for the fake chain, fake segments. So it is like we need actually two bones like that, maybe, to keep things organized, because if because it's stacking functionalities, it's been very difficult to deal with it. But let's try this. No. Yeah, this is probably a mistake, because this will probably create a dependency cycle. This will distort a lot of things, right? We see that there's already some displacement, even if I don't have dumped track. So there's already some issues going on, and it probably is happening because I don't have this. Okay, so, but let's try nonetheless. Let's see what happens. Stretch 2. Okay, so now we see this is displaced, but not too much. Let's see. So there is something wrong, right? And yeah, this looks like dependency cycles, right? Yeah, totally. So we cannot use this. And if I check here, yeah, this is older. Let's see if I open and close this. I have to close this too. I'll have to probably study this and find if there is a perfect solution, and then return to fix this. But this is very intriguing. But what we wanted mostly is done, right? We have an alternative to the shrink wrap modifiers here, right? And it just works as mostly organically. It just works as it should, right? As the other solution. Of course, the shrink wrap modifier is much easier to set up, and you can combine both. Of course, you can have both these things shrink wrapped as with the other, but if we have one, we probably don't need the other, right? So but we can have them combined, but it's redundancy, right? Let's see. No, you see, we don't have anything gone wrong. And in this case, of course, there are no conflict, although it's crazy, but there's no conflict between this shrink wrap modifier of the eyelids mesh and the shrink wrap bone constraints of even deformed bones of the same mesh. I have no idea how this is not causing some conflict, but yeah, sometimes it can create shrink wrap. So bone constraint and shrink wrap modifier, they create insane problems, dependency cycles. But my mission, this is a major victory, folks. So this works. So this is a proof of concept, and we can use this. So this is one of the alternatives. And so it's just that there are some minute things that are bizarre that I don't know how to solve yet. And this is what I'll have to research and then bring back this file. And see, the bottom part is not working, but if we were to have to reproduce this on this other. So the file is not ready for sharing because I have to spread this different versions, right? It will be too confusing to have everything in the same. I can have one version that have everything with some instructions, but my idea would be different scenes for each version. So let's look at my paper here. So my mission here now is to continue, would be to continue building this fake segmentations here with less segments, also make our work simple. Here, see if that works. And then the less system, and then for the bottom eyelids then, and then the less system for the eyelids would be the legion of linear bendy bone spline, the legion of mini bones, like everywhere, and they have proportional posing. This is the the most the rocky road to Dublin. So that would be the rocky road, because you have to make lots of tiny bones, not a lot, but maybe just I don't know, 1, 2, maybe 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah, something like that, and then have all of them automation. The automation is actually interesting to do, but yeah, I'm doing more for the, and each one of them, just as these ones, they will have a shrink wrap bone constraint on a certain value, and this distance can be different, can be varying according to the one, but I assume it will be the same for each one. They will move in sync, and this might give way better control of the mesh, but it's also more annoying to build up, I think. So we'll build that next, but I want also to finish this thing off, and I want to make this public. So I think I'm doing this for a while already. So folks, thanks for watching. Hope that was instructive enough and interesting. And so maybe today later I make the continuation of that, and I'll revise it, see if I find a solution for that. See ya, folks. Have a nice weekend. We'll continue later for next session. Take care.